never rush in buying a harp, either a lever or a pedal harp. Just do not rush. That's my advice. You need to take a deep breath and be like, yes, I want it, but it's expensive. Slow down. I need to take time to decide and save. Okay, so yeah, that is my advice.
Hi everyone, it's Nan here, and I'm currently on holidays at my parents' house in Houston, Texas, America. I thought I would use this free time to finally talk to you about how did I finally get my pedal harp, something that I've been dreaming about since I started the harp. So yeah, welcome to this vlog, if you want to call it. Grab a cup of tea, sit down, and I'm just going to talk you through the whole journey over the past 3 years of finally get my pedal harp a few weeks ago. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, so this is the second thing, the model of my harp. I got an Aoyama Amphion 47 string. The reason that I choose this model is because it does exist in a satin semi-gloss black color, which is very similar to like the most common black piano that you've seen out there. My background is I've always been playing the piano, and I always love a black piano. So if you think about it, if a piano get transformed into a harp magically, it will become the Aoyama Amphion. So yeah, that's just the reason. I just like the slick model. The sound of the Aoyama pedal harp is very consistent. It has this very warm, full, round sound that I really like, and it is very rich and warm. So that's why I choose this model. The other reason that I choose the model is because of the price, and I will talk to you about the price in a few minutes in the next section of this video. So yeah, that's just a bit of an introduction of the pedal harp that I get 2 weeks ago. Alright, I just want to talk a little bit about the price of the pedal harp. I'm happy to disclose the price for you if you private message me, but I'm not gonna publicly say the price. It's because it might give you a different expectation. Price of harp changes all the time, and it changes due to inflation, due to the cost of the wood, the cost of the the component that the company used to make it. So the best place for you to ask for price is the official dealers. Okay, so you need to find your official dealers in your own country, or if you're in Australia, and if you're in my group, the Australian Harp Rent, Sell, Buy and Discuss Facebook group, I have an announcement post in there that lists all the official dealer in Australia, and you should always go through an official dealers if you want to buy a brand new pedal harp. Anyway, the price of the harp in Australia is very expensive, especially with pedal harp, because we have a very high import tax or good tax. I don't know what to call it, but basically the tax when you import it is very expensive. It's very high, plus all the fee, the transport, the insurance when they ship the harp to you, the delivery fee, the airport fee, duty, all of those add together, the price of the harp can almost double or triple in some times when it gets to Australia. So that's sort of the expectation that you want to have when you want to save up for your pedal harp. Obviously, if you buy a second-hand pedal harp, then the price is usually negotiated with the sellers. it's the discretion between you. But if you want to buy a brand new one, that all the price you need to expect. All right, so yeah, that's just a little bit of information on prices of generally on pedal harp in Australia. All right, another thing that I want to add into the price section of it is the reason that I choose the Aoyama brand, partly because of the price. Aoyama pedal harp is, I would not say significantly, but the price is cheaper than Lion Hills or Salvi or Kamak. Not crazily cheaper, but you would save about $10,000 if you buy it from Aoyama. It's not a popular brand. It's just because I don't think it feels for me personally, when I look into all this research I do, it feels like they don't really promote themselves very well. It is a very good harp. You know, Japanese quality, you can't argue with that. It just, I'm not saying that all the brand is not good, all the brand are amazing, but if you want a good durable pedal harp, then you can get Aoyama, especially in Australia. I've seen a lot of people getting Aoyama pedal harp is because the conversion rate from Japanese yen to Australian dollar is a little bit more gentle than that you would convert between American dollars, because American dollars are roughly like way higher than us, right? So when it's converted and it's add all the fees in, the price of the pedal harp, like Aoyama pedal harp from Japan, is actually a bit cheaper than for their mid-range model. You would get a mid-range model easier than getting a entry-level professional model from Lion Hills. You would save a lot, a huge, probably like $10,000 or $15,000 at least if you buy from Aoyama. Quality wise, it all depends on your preference, definitely. But for me, when I asked some of the professional harpists overseas that I messaged through Instagram, they basically telling me the same thing. So they basically like, oh yeah, Aoyama compared to like Lion Hills or Salvi or Kamak, is basically like you buying a Toyota versus buying a Lexus or a Mercedes. it just adds the more luxury points if you buy from an American maker versus to Japanese maker. But there is no inferior thing if you get an Aoyama model. I just want to make that very clear. This is not an inferior pedal harp. It's just different sound profile. Their quality is extremely well made. It's on par with all other brands. So that my personal experience, my personal opinions on it. So don't think that you're getting an inferior harp if you have to get from Aoyama, as opposed to Lion Hills or Salvi or Kamak. You're still getting an extremely amazing harp if you get it from Aoyama. Yep, just want to make this very clear. Okay. Next one is, I just want to acknowledge this first. I would not make it without my family, my relatives and my friends' support, either a bit of financially here and there, or emotionally. I've been saving this for about nearly 3 years before I make it. A lot of you might have a question that if I buy it on my own money, I'm gonna be very clear. Yes, I did buy it by my own money, mostly. The reason I say mostly is because sometimes my family or my close relative would give me here and there like $100, $200, $400, $500. There's ones that I've been given $500. That's a huge amount of money for me. I tend not to accept it, even as gift, because I am an adult and I've been working, and I think it's just fair and responsible to fund my own hobbies. But sometimes they exist and they're like, oh, this is your birthday, you know. Then I would tell them, hey, you know, thank you so much. I would put this in my saving for my pedal harp, and they're very happy. They know that I'm saving up for the pedal harp, and I'm like, yep, I will make the commitment to put all those extra money that I get into the saving account that I create specifically for the pedal harp. I will talk to you about that in the next section of this video. So yeah, keep watching. But yeah, that's just a bit of acknowledgement. So I would say about 98%, 99% of the price of the pedal harp is my own money. The 1 or 2% is little bits of support here and there that I should acknowledge, and I really appreciate that as well. So thank you so much to my family, my relative, my friends. They support me, they encourage me, and they always enjoy the music that I make up until now. So yeah, that's just a bit of appreciation and acknowledgement of what happened. Yeah, it is what it is. So yeah. Alright, so we get that out of the way. Now let's just talk about my journey. I started the harp in February 2021, and that was my lockdown project. Basically, I was at work, and back then I used to work in a rural town in Australia, so a remote town, and it was locked down, so no one can get out anywhere. Work, like all the things at work slow down. Sometimes I would sit there without anything to do. But so there was one day that I just looked up YouTube video on my break, and I saw someone play a harp, and it was the Baroque flamenco piece that I love so much, and I couldn't stop talking about. And then I look at it and I'm just like, yep, I want to play like that. I'm like, that looks amazing. I want to play like that. And obviously I only played the piano back then, and not even good at piano. So I'm like, how do I start? And then I do a lot of research, and I find out all these different harp models, different types of harp, different brand, heaps of advice on different forums online, and it's a bit overwhelming at that time. But yeah, so I'm like, you know what? I actually want a pedal harp one day. So I got my my lever harp for quite a cheap price, because it was sitting in an antique store in South Australia, Adelaide. So I get it really, I was very lucky to get my first harp, my lever harp, for a bargain. Okay. But then I think after a few months, I'm like, I want to play the pedal harp one day. I've seen all my favorite harpists play, and I'm like, I really want to get to that, at least as close to that level as I want, even a professional degree one day, if I'm good enough to audition for it. I know I have big ambition, but you know, you can never say what's gonna happen in life, right? So anyway, how do I save for it? Firstly, I save a lot because I am living with my big sister and her husband, and which is my brother-in-law, and they don't have kids, so just the three of us live together, and basically that helps a lot. I have to say, if you're renting or if you live on your own, it might be harder to save, and I totally understand that. So I am in a very lucky position that I can save a lot of my income. That's one thing that helped me to save. The second thing is my job. So I am a clinical pharmacist in Australia. I have almost a full-time job, and in Australia we are very lucky to have a good healthcare system. We have a public healthcare, Medicare, and it is amazing that you don't have to worry too much about healthcare when you live in Australia, because most of the urgent thing or basic thing will be covered by the government. And I feel extremely lucky, and I am extremely grateful that I am living in Australia, basically. So yeah, my job paid quite well, I would say. Not crazily loaded, or like really rich or anything like that. I still have my bills to pay. I still pay my sister money every month, even though it is not as crazy as renting outside, but I still give her money every month. I share the bills, blah blah, all those. So it's but yeah, it is not a crazily high paid job, but it does pay enough for me to have a bit of saving after all my bills and everything. So that's the second thing. The third thing is the way that I save is it depends. I do a lot of things to save. Basically, I utilize everything if I can for free. My thank you again for my friend Tu and Quinn. They're my bestie from uni, and they introduced me to this book called The Barefoot Investor. If you haven't seen it, just search up The Barefoot Investor. So if you haven't heard about this guy, his name is Scott Pape, and he wrote this amazing book that he basically an Aussie guy that lost the whole family house to a fire, and he rebuilt everything from scratch. And he wrote this amazing book on how to help people how to save and how to get out of debt as well, but step by step. And I'm talking about realistic step, not just be like, hey, save your money, blah blah, like very superficial suggestion. He actually tell you the way to do and what to tell the bank and everything. So, but yeah, I don't follow all of the instruction, but I do follow one main instruction. A few main instruction is I create a few saving account for different goals in my life. Like I have an account for my emergency money, I have an account for my dream harp, I have an account for my for like mortgage or like deposit of my future house if I ever buying it. Oh yeah, that's another thing. I don't have a house, I don't own a house. That save a lot of money. I know I'm lucky as well. I don't own any mortgage at the moment, not yet. Yeah, so I follow all of his instruction, most of his instruction. So basically, you can still saving up, but you need to divide your money not just in one chunk big saving account, but in different saving. That's just the way I do it, and so that you still have your emergency money, you still have your normal saving money, but you have a little bit more money to put into your specific goal. Like let's say you want a pedal harp or you want a new car, you have a bit of money to put into that, and just totally separate from your normal saving or your normal your normal bills or expense money every day. Anyway, another thing that I learned from him or from the book is to cancel all the credit cards that I have. This is only for Australian. I know for Americans, you need your credit card for your credit score and everything. That's essential basically. So don't do that. But this is Australia, so it's okay for me to cancel all my credit card, and I find that since I cancel all my credit card, I can start saving a lot, because back then I used to spend a lot on my credit card, and it gives me this illusion that oh, it's my money to spend, but it's actually not. And yeah, I'm human too, you know. It's just like we're all human, so it we get into these traps of like banks and stuff to spend more money on their credit card, which is not our money, and we cannot save at the end of the month. But yeah, I cancel 2 of my credit cards, and I only use a debit card, which means it's my own money. So yeah, that's how I save up. And it's amazing that my 2 besties introduced me to this book, and it just make my whole life different, basically. So again, I set up the other thing is, the bank that I use is Commonwealth Bank of Australia, and their app is amazing. They have this, at each of these accounts, they have a goal setting thing, and they basically, you can set the goal like, oh, I want to save, I don't know, $10,000 by the end of next year or something. And they basically just calculated every week how much per week you need to save to get to that. And they keep reminding you like, oh hey, every time you want to withdraw the money out from the account, they will be like, hey, you're not meant to withdraw the money. You want to revise your goal, basically like that. So they give this little tap in the back here and there to be like, hey, you're withdrawing the money. You should be doing that. I think it's a great way of saving. The other way that I save is I also limit my eating out by only once a week or once every few weeks. And if I don't need to go out, I won't go out to eat. Another thing that I do is I eat free sandwich from the place I work. I work in a hospital, and they make sandwich for patients, obviously. But all the staff eat it because they all in the fridge. It's not specifically for anyone, for any patient. It's just there. So if you're hungry, you can just help yourself to it. Because at the end of the day, if it's not getting eaten, they make a lot of it. Like sometimes the whole fridge was filled with sandwich, and if you're not eating it, it got thrown out by the next day, which is a waste of food. So yeah, I just use it at my breakfast. Sometimes I work early on a Saturday in the hospital, and I haven't had a chance to have breakfast, and I don't want to buy breakfast. I just have one of those sandwiches and one of those tiny tub of orange juice, also free. And that helped me to save a lot of money. I drink instant coffee from the hospital. I don't buy coffee. I can't remember the last time I buy. Probably the last time I buy was in a few months before, like once every few months I buy and take out coffee if I have to. But normally I don't take out coffee because now they're getting a bit expensive. Like in Australia, sometimes $5.50 Australian dollars get you a tiny bit of coffee, and I don't think it's worth it. I just get the instant coffee. So yeah, that's just a bit more on how I save. It's not much, but it's just tiny bits here and there that gets you into it just accumulate over time. And yeah, I just want to explain it a bit on the sandwich part, because I don't want people to think that, oh, you eat the patient food, you're not supposed to. No, it's not anyone's food. It's there for patient, but it's not specifically for any patient. It's gonna go to waste anyway if some of the patient end up not having it. It's just there because sometimes patients get hungry and the nurses come and grab it. But if no one asks for it, it's just gonna stay there in the fridge. So yeah, I think that mostly how I say, and it just here and there. Every time I have my income, my salary put into my account. So in Australia, we get paid fortnightly, so every 2 weeks. So I just basically calculate out what bills I have to pay for the next 2 weeks, and then the rest of the thing I just cut it out. I cut it into 1/3. 1/3 will go into my saving for my house deposit, and 2/3 will go into my pedal harp saving, or sometimes it's half, or sometimes it depends on how much bill I have, or how much, you know, expense I have to do for the next few, or for the next 2 weeks. It's yeah, it all depends on that specifically time period, but I always try to divide them out and put some in my emergency saving as well, so you have some emergency money as well, so you don't just lose track of real life while chasing your dream. So yeah, that is how I save. Let's continue to talk about how I set my goal and everything. So yeah, okay, so I just want to talk a bit about goals. You need to set your goals. I set my own goals when I want to get a pedal harp. It's a huge investment and it's a huge chunk of money, so it needs time to save up basically, and it depends on the circumstances. I'm very lucky and that I live with my sister and my brother-in-law, so I save a lot of money on renting. I do give them money, but it's not as crazy at renting out by your own. So again, it depends on your circumstances. It might take you longer to save, that's totally fine. But in order to achieve a goal, we need to set goals, and we need to keep reminding ourselves the goal basically. For me personally, it's like, oh, I want to shopping, and then I'm thinking, oh, should I shopping, or should I put that extra little bit of $50 or $100 into a saving account of my pedal harp? And I keep reminding me the reason why I want to play the harp so much, why I love it so much, and these things, small reminders, just accumulate over time. These small savings just accumulate over time, and basically just keep hanging on to your dreams. If you want it, you'll get it someday. It might take longer than other people. That's totally fine. So yeah, keep reminding of your dreams. That's one thing one of my advice. The other thing is, while you do your saving, it probably take a few years, that's totally fine, is to find out and do some research for the pedal harp. It's never late to do research, because the earlier you do, the better it is. What I mean by research is to find out what model you want, what involved in the cost of maintaining it, what involved in the cost of buying it, what happened if you need a harp technician. Do you know the harp technician in your areas? Can you buy a harp through a dealers, or can you have to buy it directly from another country? Is there any second-hand one available? What are the price range? You know, all of these things. That's just a few, that's not all of them, but that's just a few things. So it's like the logistics side of buying it. It's almost like buying your dream house or car. You wouldn't just go out and be like, I want that house, right? You have to do a research for probably 1 or 2 years at least in advance to know, like, oh, what house I want, what's on the market, what's the price range, which model do I want, how many string do I want, blah blah blah, like that. You know, what's the difference between a straight soundboard and an extended soundboard pedal harp? Do I need an extended soundboard? What's my long-term goal? What's my short-term goal? All of these things. The biggest mistake that I've seen, because I talk to a lot of harpists and harp buyers, the biggest mistake I've seen is they just rush into it. And obviously the harp is a beautiful instrument, and everyone, like when you love it, you're just like, oh, I want it so bad. And I understand that, but sometimes I have to slow them down and be like, hey, I know you want a harp, but you need to take time to do research. It took me 3 years to do all this research and come up with all the information that I post in that group. If you're in my Australian harp rent, sell, buy, or discuss group, you see all the information I post. It took me 3 years to get up to that. All of this information that I accumulate and I give it to you. And I'm ready, I'm here to help. So if you need, you reach out to me and I will, at least giving you a bit of an intro or direct you to the right person that have more expertise than me in certain field or can answer your question better. Never rush in buying a harp, either a reliever or a pedal harp. Just do not rush. That's my advice. You need to take a deep breath and be like, yes, I want it, but it's expensive. Slow down. I need to take time to decide and save. Okay, so yeah, that is my advice about goals and setting really realistic goal and the right mindset when you want to buy something that expensive. All right, so let's say you want to buy the harp and you're like, I'm happy with the quotes, let's go and buy it, I'm happy to proceed. Then the dealer's more likely gonna send you an invoice, and they most likely will require a deposit amount to lock in the transaction. In my case, it is a 40% deposit of the whole price of the harp. It's I paid. So I ordered the harp in about, I think, April, May, and I get it delivered to my door in November. And the harp is complete in September. So my harp is made from scratch. So I paid the 40% deposit, and basically the dealer told the Japanese factory, yep, he's buying it, make it. I received the deposit, all right? So the sooner you pay the deposit, the sooner they can proceed with the transaction. I think if they already have a harp available, already made and waiting to be shipped out, it's gonna be quicker, but you still have to pay the deposit. And then the harp, for my case, is shipped by sea freight, so like a sea vessel, and on a boat, like those big massive container boat. The box is in one of those containers, and they basically go through the boat is not gonna go straight from Japan to Australia. It's go through a few different countries, a few ports, pick up goods for their own things, and then they come to Australia. So when they come to Australia, which is so the harp finished making in September and they send it out the end of September. The dealer told me that now the harp is being shipped out, I need the rest of the amount, so 60%. So I have to pay that, and the sooner I pay it, the sooner it's gonna get processed when it's reached Australia. When it reached Australia, they need the whole amount of money to assist with all the basically they do all the import document for you. Otherwise, you have to go through the import broker dealer yourself, but not in this case. If you go through official dealers, they basically do everything for you, and the harp gonna get shipped to your door. That's the benefit of going through a dealers. So she need all the documents, all the procedure to basically assist with all the import procedure and documents and fee, blah blah. So yeah, it is a long wait. I know, I've heard, don't quote me, but I know that at the moment, if you order from Lion Hill or Salvi, if it was one of their common models like Style 85, Concert Grand, it might up to like 1 or 2 years wait. That's what I heard at the moment. Not sure if it's true, but it is a long wait. For me, April to November to get my harp, almost like half a year to get the harp, 6 months. So yeah, it does involve a lot of patience and waiting and anticipation and expectation, you know. Sometimes you'll be like, oh my god, it's a few weeks and I haven't heard anything from it. It getting done, just give it a bit of time, basically. And I think another benefit of going through a dealers like that is you got a peace of mind. It's like very official. They send you invoices. You don't have to worry about, you know, scamming or anything like that. It's an official dealer. Yeah, so I think that's the whole procedure, just in a nutshell, of what I'm going through to get my pedal harp shipped to Australia. So yeah, I think that would conclude this video. Hopefully I didn't rambling on for too long. Thank you for watching. But I just want to share my journey of how I get my pedal harp and how I save up for it. It might be different for you again, but if you want it, if it's your dreams, please just hang on to it, because it will happen if you keep hang on to it, and it will. That's what I believe. If you send out to the universe your dreams, your signals, the universe will respond in a way that guide you and help you to reach your dream. So good luck, and hopefully I will see you in another videos of me reviewing my pedal harp when I go back to Australia. At the moment I'm just giving it a bit of time to settle down a bit more, but I will do a review and talk about the brand a bit, because in Australia Aoyama is still not popular and people still think it's inferior to other brands. It is not, and I will talk about that in my next video. So thank you for watching, and yeah, good luck with your pedal harp journey if you are planning to get one.